Hello guys, I'm Savvy and welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. It's been about a week since I've done a video. I think the last one that I did was a solo flawless exotic mission that I did that was actually from this current season or episode Heresy. But in this one, what I'm going to be doing is we're going to be going into more of a showing off video, which I've done before with my subclasses and builds and things like that. So that's what we're going to be doing today, and more specifically, I'm going to be showing you guys some really cool exotics that I think are really good to have. And this could be for people who already use them, this could be for people who are new to the game, which you may not have access to it right away, but when you do get it, you'll have something to look forward to. Or if some people that are still kind of newish, but they have some experience in the game, this will be a video for you as well. But before we get into that, I want to let you guys know to hit that subscribe button because it really helped me out. Trying to reach, I reached over 2,000 subscribers recently, which is amazing. But as usual, we have more goals. The more the merrier, the more people in the community, the better for sure. And you get more videos like these and other content that I do on the channel if you're interested in the other content. And don't forget to hit that like button as well because it really helps out the algorithm. But without further ado, let's go ahead and step right into the first exotic that I'm going to be showing off. So the first really cool exotic that I've used for a very long time before Prismatic came out and when Lightfall was a thing, is Necrotic Grips, because Strand and Necrotic Grips work really well together, but with this video, we're going to specifically look at the exotic. If you do want to check out my Strand build, I will put a link at the end of this, and I'll probably put up a picture of the video at some point as I'm describing this, but yeah, this is a really good exotic, and I'm going to demonstrate why. But first, we're going to get into the details as to what this does, and it's called Grasp of the Devourer. Damaging a target with melee poisons them, dealing increasing damage over time. Defeating a poisoned target spreads the condition. Provides a moderate benefit to the airborne effectiveness stat of all weapons of sorrow. So this is really cool. So weapons of sorrow include, like Necrochasm, or I believe Touch of Malice is also a weapon of sorrow. There's many others that work with that as well. And this also is what I use for my Prismatic build as well. And I use that on my Exotic Bond, which is right here. Spirit of Necrotic, Spirit of the Swarm. So it's really good. But let's go somewhere and demonstrate exactly how this works. And I think the best way to do that would be in a place where there's a lot of enemies. So as I've demonstrated in other places before, I would like to demonstrate this in the Shurochi checkpoint. So I'll be right back. Alright, so here we are in the Shurochi checkpoint. Now, to make this easy for myself, I don't really need to put down a rally banner because I already have my melee charged up, and I do have, and with Strand, I'm able to have 3 of them, which makes this even more beneficial with Necrotic Grips, but I'm going to start this real quick. I'm going to let Shurochi just move on to the side, like that. But I'm going to just throw my needle here. And this works with any melee, but this one I'm able to keep my distance. So I'm going to throw it. And as you can see how all of them are just getting poison spread to them. Just over and over again. And the thing is even if I run out of my melee, so what I'm going to do is just get rid of that. But as long as I'm able to kill this enemy with my uncharged melee, like instantly like that, then it still spreads. And it'll just keep spreading to each enemy until it runs out of enemies to spread to. Just like how it did right there. But then I can just keep going and going and going. It's really good for ad clear, especially for rank and file enemies. As you can see, I could just keep doing this without even having my melee charged, and that's pretty good. I mean, look at that. And I could also... And it also, there's sort of like a secret sort of charge time where you can spread the poison, but if you instantly kill an enemy with the melee, it'll spread it anyway. But there is like a cooldown technically with necrotics where you can poison once, then wait a little bit, then poison again. So, but that's how Necrotic Grips works. So let's go ahead and move on to the very next one, shall we? So the next pair of gauntlets that we're going to be going through is Osmiomancy Gloves. Now these gloves I use on my stasis build that I have currently equipped right now, which I could put up the thumbnail right there, and I'll also link this at the end of the video as well. This one is very interesting because it only works specifically for a certain type of grenade, which is what the armor perk reads. It's called Fervid Cold Snap. Your Cold Snap grenades have an additional charge that recharges quicker on hits. The seeker spawned from Cold Snap grenades travels farther. So that's very interesting. So to demonstrate this, I'm going to do two different things. One is I'm going to show exactly how the Cold Snap is able to recharge faster. And since you see we have two charges there on the bottom left where our grenade is, I don't need to use the rally banner since I have my super, and I also do have my Cold Snap grenades, but I'm just going to be showing the main function of this. I'm going to wait for Shorochi to move around. So I'm going to just throw this grenade down, and look at the bottom left. You can see that I'm getting my charges back quite fast because it's seeking to a lot of enemies that aren't frozen. But if I keep throwing my grenade, and as long as there are targets that are being frozen in place, then I'm going to get my charge back all the time. And then I can just shatter them. Just like that. But when it does the initial scattering like this, it's not going to work that well. But it will work when more ads do spawn, and there's more ads on the field and everything like that, so. Now, let me go and show you guys the other version of this. So I'm going to just go ahead and wipe here and show you the next version. Alright, so here we are again, and I have both of my grenade charges once more. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to demonstrate the second part of this, but there is a caveat to this where it doesn't work as efficiently as it would, as you would like to, at least, in my experience of this. But I'm going to hold down the Q button, and I'm going to throw a grenade. I'm going to use my Cold Snap grenade to turn it into a grenade, but then I'm also going to have two of them on the field because I had two charges there. So both of them are going to be just shooting targets and freezing them, and I can just freely just go about and shattering all of them. And as long as enemies keep coming, they'll just keep shooting them. And it's really good for keeping ad control for sure. It's really good, but as you could see from my grenade, I'm not getting any of my charge back, even with these grenades. Even though they're originally Cold Snap grenades turned into a turret, it doesn't work that way. But it's still convenient to have two of those charges there. But it's totally fine. It's a good exotic, though, because, as I said, ad control and the Cold Snap grenades, you could just keep throwing them as long as ads keep coming. It's really good for that crowd control kind of, I guess, defensive kind of play, I guess you could consider that. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So the next one that we're going to be showing off is Getaway Artist. Now, I've actually done a video on this before where I consider this more of an underrated, but this was more of like a personal experience where many others that I've played with, and also in my experience of playing in other modes, I haven't really seen many people use this. But I definitely want to show you guys how it works. For those that are veterans of the game, such as myself, know how good these gauntlets are. But if you're new to the game, or if you're not too familiar with the concepts of what's good and what isn't in the game, this is a good pair of gauntlets for you. So the armor perk specifically is called Dynamic Duo. Q press. Convert your arc grenade into an arc soul and become amplified. The arc soul functions as an autonomous turret. So this works well with an arc build, but I don't use this for an arc build in particular. I actually use Crown of Tempest instead, which I also have a video on that as well for my arc build video for that specific type of exotic. So you guys could check that out if you want to as well. But for this one, it works really well as well, and you'll see how this works with grenades. So we have to, obviously, with arc, and I think this works with prismatic as well, as long as you have a arc grenade equipped. So what we're going to do is, since I already have my grenade, and I also have the build where I will automatically get an arc soul anyway, so I'm not going to be using my rift, I'm just going to be using my grenade. So let's go ahead and start this since I have my grenade charged up. And then let Shorochi move away. And then I'm going to hold Q. And there it is. There is the beautiful, beautiful Arc Soul. And with the build that I have as well, I'm able to get back my grenade pretty quickly within a reasonable amount of time, and then I can hold it down again, and I can reset the timer to 15 seconds. Not 15 seconds. I mean, I think it's the same. Okay. So I was going to say it's roughly around the same time, because it says Sentient Arc Soul on the left side of the screen, so if I reset it, it's 20 seconds. That's a lot longer than I thought, but that's really good. But as you can see there, I was able to get my grenade back pretty fast, but that also is working with the other types of build that I have with my arc subclass. So part of it has to do with the way you set up your arc build, but it also works in tandem with Getaway Artist. So they're pretty much synergized with each other. That's why it's so good. And if you team that up with also having your Arc Soul come from your Rift, you could reset it that way, so if you don't get your grenade back in order to consume it again, you could instead throw your grenade and then reset the timer by putting down your Rift, which is really good. Or you could do the opposite, where like you throw down your Rift first, and you just sit in one place, let the enemies come at you. And as long as you're in the Rift, your Arc Soul is going to remain with you. It's just only after the Rift is gone will it go away. But I'm going to let this tick down a little bit, and I'm going to show one more time that when I consume my grenade, it'll reset the timer. So I'm going to consume it now, and there's the 20. And you can see that it's different because it's actually triggered from the armor piece, not from an ability. So you can see how that changed on the left side there. But yeah, that's a Getaway Artist. It's really good. I like it. I really like it. Alright, so I think I'm actually going to cut this video short with showing off 3 of those exotics. I was thinking of doing 4 of them, but I do want to just test this out to see what you guys thought of this video, because I wanted to do specifically gauntlets, and I can do a lot more of them in the gauntlets category, but I also would like to do chest pieces, boots, helmets, things like that, so that way we can kind of make a series out of this. As well as maybe making more of the series of like underrated exotics, or what I consider underrated. But these are definitely good exotics that I do recommend. If you don't use them already for your Warlock, I'd really recommend them. They're a lot of fun to use, and they're very beneficial in a lot of circumstances. It's just Shochi is the best way to demonstrate them because of how many enemies there are, which in a lot of endgame activities such as raids and dungeons, you'll come across a lot of enemies in several rooms in different encounters, so these can work really well for you. Even in strikes too, because certain strikes now, at least with the battlegrounds, there's a lot of enemies, so that could work for you as well. But anyway, if you did enjoy this, be sure to leave a like if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate that. And don't forget to hit subscribe as well, because that lets me know that you guys join the content on the channel and would like to see more. I also like to give a shout out to all of my channel members whose names I'll put up right now. Thank you for becoming a member, and if you are interested in getting perks such as emotes or badges, things like that, you can hit the join button down below. I've been Savvy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys. See you later.